All right, yo, this is Black Mob to my left.
Glory.
I have JD Era pulling up. This is Steady Mobbin. 569. We're having conversations with people you can't talk to and things you can't say, and no weird cases.
Oh, wow.
And basically, we're just chatting. We're here. Like, we finally got JD Era. How can I explain? The dude called me out as soon as I walked into my studio. He was like, yo, you listen to my music? I'm like, I heard it a little bit. He called me out. He called me a piece of shit. Like, not directly, but he called me a piece of shit saying, yo, you should listen to music.
He's nodding.
before you come and pull up, gotta listen to music. And that is the rookie move I did today. I heard half the album. Not even half the album. I heard a couple tracks off of it, and I didn't really take it in. And I apologize. I'll be the first one to say it right here. I do apologize for not taking in your music.
The album's 30 minutes.
It is 30 minutes, and literally we're sitting here. We literally while we're setting up, heard half of it, and it's fire.
It's 30 minutes.
And I'll add this: he's not just this man's a legend.
Absolutely,
he is a saga legend.
Absolutely,
and I don't use that term loosely. Like, this is a fact. If you're from the city, you know JD Era, lyrical monster from how long? 22 years, you said?
It's been a minute, man.
My God.
I've been rapping for a minute.
And me and JD Era, we go way back. JD Era actually might have been the first person I had on my DVD in 05 or 06.
Juice DVD. So I've been supporting you.
Yes, absolutely.
Been supporting your thing. You see, but before we continue,
I love it. Let's go.
See that? Because you guys keep telling me things that I've been supporting.
Continue.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Keep roasting.
So I invited both of you guys individually to my studio, Up North Studios.
Yes.
I said, hey guys, maybe we should film the podcast over there when we do the episode. I was told by one person.
Point to him.
I was told by a gentleman, we film in a professional studio.
I didn't say it like that.
Really
I didn't say that.
I said to him, have you been to my studio? And his response was, no. So you don't know what?
I apologize. The way I'm
right?
like,
so I just before, you know what I'm saying? So like etiquette, you know what I mean? I think we're working on etiquette here at the podcast.
He could use some,
today, you know what I mean? When a guest is coming through, listen to their project.
Please do.
You know what I mean? If someone invites you to their space, you should try to go show love to their space. Absolutely. Don't make them come to your space after they've already invited you to their space. And it's the reciprocal, right? Like this is
absolutely. I'll agree with you on. Well, I don't know about the whole professional studio. That was just out of.
I never said that, but Lord help me.
You guys have both been invited. You've both been invited, right? I've invited you to the studio as well.
Absolutely, and I think there was maybe
scheduling
thing. Yeah, it wasn't like I would never want to show up. Like, my intention was absolutely to show up. Yeah. As far as listening to the album, I agree with you, but to my defense, or to our defense, we've been invested in our guests pretty much since inception. So even though they currently have music out, our interviews are basically about your career from beginning to end.
No, absolutely.
Legacy.
And what's more important than the last thing you put out?
100%.
This is my latest baby, right?
True.
It's my latest baby. So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely. Absolutely.
We're always good. You guys are my dogs.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt, brother.
Water under the bridge.
Yeah,
No doubt,
turn
brother.
on
No
the
doubt.
oven, man.
Water under the bridge.
Okay, no, you know what?
We're here, water under the bridge.
No, but nobody's like that's where I can attest that nobody's the quote unquote real enough to call.
I love my music. I love doing music. So for me, like that's the heart of this, the core of this, right? Like to talk about other things are great and everything. You know what I mean? But it
was a breath of fresh air because, in this industry, because I've been involved for a minute, there's a lot of, hey, how you doing? A lot of,
especially we go back, you know what I mean? So I feel like I'd be being fake if I would, you know what I mean? If I came.
Absolutely. So let's start with the album. I had no clue that Federal Star was like this super producer.
Yeah. How
the hell did that connection happen?
So I've known Onyx since maybe like 2012. I met them out in Montreal through their manager, a guy named Perry, who actually manages me, you know what I mean, and kind of helps run a lot of their stuff. So I met them through that, and like Dro's always just kind of kept in touch. Like, you heard No Handouts, hit me up, was like, yo, this album's fire, you know what I mean? And that just kind of led to me touring with them and whatnot, and just kind of developing just kind of an organic relationship with those guys. You know what I mean? And then I knew but didn't realize Fredro produced like Last Days and like a couple records for Onyx.
Last Days, yo, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it didn't click for me. And then one day we had the conversation. He mentioned it, and I was like, yo, you got to send me a pack. Like, how come you're not making beats no more? He's like, I'm starting to cook again a little bit. I was like, yo, send me a pack. He sent me a pack. We did Yellow Goose and Heat Up were the first 2 records out of that. I banged out the album in maybe like, I want to say 3 weeks. I just went on like a tear, you know what I mean? And just banged out the album fast. Because they hit me, they're like, yo, we're about to go to South America. You want to come on tour with us? I was like, I don't really have anything, you know what I mean, to push. I had no handouts out at the time, but I was like, maybe it's time to do some new joints, you know what I mean? So that kind of just led to me cooking fast, finished the album by the time we got to South America, and then just kind of toured and, got to this point, man, where it's officially out, you know what I mean? So
amazing. How'd you come up with the name Yellow Goose? Why Yellow Goose?
Yellow Goose is from Sunset Park. Yeah, so that's one of my favorite movies when I was a little kid. I used to play ball when I was a kid, so one of my favorite movies. So meeting Fredro for me is like it's multi-level, right? Like the rap shit is one shit, the acting shit's another shit, you know what I mean? So Yellow Goose is from Sunset Park.
He had the Yellow Goose in Sunset Park.
Yeah, he had the Yellow Goose on in Sunset Park. People know it as like a Drake bar, you know what I mean? But it's iconic for a lot of us kind of growing up at that time, So that was the first thing. And I asked him if he still has that jacket. I think he said his mom still has it. So
really?
I tried to buy that
God
shit.
damn.
You mentioned you bang out this album in 3 weeks. I mean, does that affect your creative process? Like, could you bang out another one in 3 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, it's more like...
is it draining? Do you find it draining?
No, it's just like inspiration, right? Like, if you're inspired, you work fast, right? Like sometimes you could write a song in 50 minutes. Sometimes it could take you a month, right? Like, but if I'm inspired, I work really quickly, and like having the studio. Having the studio like makes it.
No, can I clarify what I meant?
Having the studio makes it easy.
I'll take the L. But I just want to clarify if you I meant like a videography studio. Like I know you got a sound studio.
Yeah, I have two rooms.
Oh,
The
okay.
violin.
My bad.
It's okay. I'm
It's
just
now bigger.
it's okay.
It's yo.
I guess that's
Just,
love.
that's-
It's like you know. I hate when people they
Listen,
come up
it's
to me
okay.
like yo
Up north
build,
studio- up north
let's
studios.
build.
Up north studios. Come
I
down.
apologize.
That has a way with words. We're not gonna win this. Like he won. Like just, I accepted the L. I should have listened to the album.
Yo,
Shame on me.
it's
Okay,
good. You're good.
accept the L. Okay, all right. So,
Yeah.
I'm really amazed at your career. 20-something years in the game, and you're still going. Like, is it the passion for music? Like, what motivates you? What drives you? Like that's not chump change, man. Like, that's a long time.
I guess like at this point I'm just doing it because I love it. You know what I mean? Like it's dope because like we opened the studio. The studio's been open for like 4 years now. I think we're going on 5 years this year. That me opening the studio was about like working with different artists and kind of seeing what's happening in the studio and being just like more a part of community. You know what I'm saying? And like me and my partner Stone, we started Roadman Productions. So we have
Shout out to Stone.
Yeah, we got a concert company. You know what I mean? So now we're doing shows. So
Yes.
I'm just trying to give levels to like being able to assist artists and like helping out and just, I don't know, putting my stamp on Toronto just in my own way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been lucky enough to kind of travel the world with like guys like Raekwon and like Classified and like, you know what I mean? Like the Mad Childs of the world. You know what I mean? Onyx and stuff. Like I've got a chance to kind of run around with these guys and like study how they all do it in their own way. You know what I mean? So like all this stuff is just me, just kind of all the things I've learned and just trying to kind of give game to this next generation for the guys that like want to learn. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these guys aren't really interested in that and kind of have their own.
Speaking on that, a lot of these rappers I'm seeing nowadays have internet hits. They're like 100,000 viewers, million viewers on IG or on YouTube.
Yeah,
and they all have like big ass stacks. I'm thinking to myself like, are you an artist? Like you can't have your one foot in the in the trap and then 1 foot in the studio trying to make it. You've cracked the code. You've cracked the code. You're talking about touring. I always, whenever I talk to anybody who pulls up here, I talk about touring, and touring is like a massive thing in the industry in order to make money and make a living.
Yeah, absolutely.
What would you say to people like in terms of touring? Like, what is a proper tour and how many cities?
I mean, that's gonna vary. You know what I mean, from artist to artist. For me, I just come from a very independent a standpoint. You know what I mean? Like I've been grown. I started out in the mixtape game. The mixtape game, everything about the mixtape game is independence. You know what I mean? So we were kind of being groomed, for lack of better words, like to be independent in that time and printing your own CDs and figuring out how to record because record labels weren't giving deals, right? Like that's just what it was, right? So for me, I've always been kind of an independent mindset and doing shows. Like I used to do a lot of shows in Toronto, right? Like if there was a show in Toronto, I was doing it. You know what I mean? And like bringing different artists out and trying to put people on kind of in that way. And it was difficult for me to kind of do shows outside of Toronto. You know, doing tours around Canada became a difficult thing. So for me, it was like always trying to crack the Canada code first, right? And I think
so what was hindering that? Like what's
so the country doesn't look like me is one of the big things, right? Like, and you know, whether people acknowledge that or not, that's a big thing, right? And when you have an artist that does have the fan base that can do it, it appears, you know, if the content isn't what the police deem suitable, then it becomes a thing in Canada. And in the US, you know, you could be the baby and murder someone in a Walmart and then have a Foot Locker commercial tomorrow, right? Like over here, it's like they're so afraid of the streets and you know, I'm not even gonna call it the streets. I'm gonna call it black men, right? Like they're so afraid of inner cities and what that represents or what that looks like that it becomes difficult to tour. But, you know, not so much my issue necessarily, you know what I mean? But like one of the big issues that I would say is difficult for why guys can't tour. But for me, cracking the code was seeing guys like Classified, him reaching out to me and being like, yo, come do a tour with me. Like I got to see it from a level of someone that does like Cranbrook, BC.
They're like random places.
The random places, the little places. And then I did it with Raekwon first, where I got to see the major cities and it was like, okay, you know, this is the way to move merch and this is the way to, you know, you set up for a show and this is the way you get in early and you know what I mean? So by the time I reached an Onyx, it was like, I know the stuff so well inside and out that it's like, I'm just an asset on tour, you know what I'm saying? As opposed to, you know, shit, I got this guy and like, how do we figure out how to feed? Like I'm feeding myself, I'm making my own money, I'm making you guys money, I'm connecting with different artists in the town that maybe want verses and stuff like that. And, you know, like I have a whole, like I tell people about my walkthrough and I say it to like give artists game on like how to do shows. Like I travel with Onyx on tour. I'm the first guy in the venue. So I set up all the merch, you know what I mean, including my merch. So when you walk into the venue, I'm the first person that you see, right? So early in the night, you walk in, 10 people in the crowd. It's me and the 10 people. You walked in, you saw their merch, you saw my merch, you know? You're like, oh, how much is this Onyx hat? Oh, yo, by the way, I'm going to be performing later on. So we have some sort of rapport with me and however many people are in the venue. I'm going to do this with everyone. Then by the time it's for me to go on, I walk right through the crowd. I go on, you're like, oh shit, that's the nigga I seen from the merch. Maybe you didn't know me.
That's dope.
I get on stage, crush it. You know what I mean? You got to crush it. You know what I mean? Crush it. Walk right back through the middle of the crowd. Now niggas is like, oh, yo, you fucking killed yeah, yo. You know what I mean? Meet me at the merch booth. You know what I mean? So now I done sold some of my merch.
Come on.
I sold some of Onyx's merch. Then Onyx goes on stage. Who you gonna see when Onyx is on stage? JD Era again. I pop back up. Oh shit. Oh yo. So show's done. Back again. Me at the merch. So when we leave, it's me you see at the merch booth whole night. You done spent the whole night with me. Cool, you came for Onyx. But you spent the whole night with me. You know what I'm saying? So just being in proximity of fans, little things like that. You know what I mean? Like these are little things that I did to just kind of help develop it and build it and sustain yourself on tours. You know what I mean?
That's success, isn't it?
Yeah, for me. You know what I mean?
Success.
Like for me, absolutely. Like I got into rap because I love doing it, but I wanted to see the world. You know what I mean? And I wanted to be able to put out music that's gonna outlive me. And you know what I mean? One day I won't be here, but all these era records still will be. You know what I mean? So it's like, for me, absolutely. You know what I mean? Like I've had an amazing, successful career. I want my Juno still, you know what I mean? Like me and Class still gotta like arm wrestle or something over this thing. You know, he got me that inner ninja. You know, and that being said, I love that the Junos have now opened up an album category as well as a single category, right? Because when I lost, it was like I had an album versus a single, and it was just like, how do you guys compare the two, right? So it's good. We're making progress, man. Like Canada, as much as people talk about how doomed we are and like how bad things are, we have made so much fucking progress. You know what I'm saying? That there's a lot to be proud of. So.
Yeah.
Do you feel underappreciated by the industry?
I wouldn't say no. I don't think underappreciated. Like I think anybody that, like I can call anybody in this industry and they'll pick up the phone. You know what I mean? And like I think like my relationships let me know that I'm valued.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So not so much. Like no.
Because I mean it's just a personal opinion. I feel like there's so many people in the industry. You know, a lot of our legacy acts deserve a ton of flowers. It should be getting a lot more, you know, for lack of a better term, more praise and just more recognition and stuff like that, you know. So maybe it's just, you know, maybe a bias because, you know, I've seen you guys pretty much from the inception up until this point. So that's like 20 plus years of me kind of just watching you guys and following you guys, even though I may not have interacted. But, you know, my eyes are still, you know,
I think,
open.
You know, and like I appreciate that, you know what I mean? But I think my generation is a victim of their time. And the reason I say that is like, again, I come from the mixtape era, right?
That's a bar, by the way.
Yeah.
Victim of the, like that's real.
Yeah,
like,
And I say that because, look, when I dropped a mixtape, 13 and stuff like that, you know what I mean, Coming to America, they're doing 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 downloads, right? So, you know, at the time, that's the way people are consuming music. 10 years before me, it's going to be guys like Choclair and stuff where they're dropping and they have label support and they're going to do 50,000 and go gold, right? And absolutely, it should be celebrated, right? But my time won't be celebrated because there's no way to measure that, right? Like we weren't given hardware to say, yo, that mixtape, it circled the planet. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like, there was no gauge. There's no gauge of SARS. You can't gauge what SARS.
Yeah, that is a great
world,
freaking point.
right? So you know, and like it'd be dope to do a mixtape or not a mixtape, like a documentary on that generation, right? Like, there's so many, you know, Nicholas F. There's guys like there's so many dope mixtape guys.
In that era, I think is the most, in my personal opinion, most talented, most lyrical era. I mean, no offense
For me,
to
in
any other era.
Toronto history, to me, it's definitely the most lyrical. You know what I mean? Like,
wow.
and that's not a shot at anyone, but like, we would have done laps around some of these other guys.
I mean, because it was coming off the heels of 50 Cent's album. You had Jadakiss, who was like the bar king at the time, and what was the other guy's name?
Man, there's so many guys. There's guys like Raph and guys. I just remember being a kid listening to so many mixtapes. There was like the Joe Budden, Fab. What was Fab's his cousin or his brother? Paul Kane. I used to listen to Paul Kane tapes. Like there was just I don't know. It's hard to measure that generation, right? So, and unfortunately, it's going to be lost, right? Because we weren't getting sample clearances. So if you don't have that physical mixtape in hand still to this day, or you didn't upload that thing, it's gone. You know what I mean? So, you know, there's people still message me all the time to this day, like, yo, let me get the re-up. You know what I mean? Like, put it up on you know what I mean, somewhere for me to download, or do you have copies of it or whatever? You know what I mean? If you have it, you have it. You know what I mean? It's just
and here's a little history. Back to Juice DVD. Juice DVD Volume 2. We had the mixtape, and we had the Juice DVD All Stars.
Yeah.
Featuring Richie Sosa, Kilograms, Bliss, produced by Boy Wonder, and JD Era on there.
Classic
Classic.
It's not online. It's a crazy thing.
Yeah, we're gonna put it online. We're gonna put it online.
Yeah, you know, this stuff, you know, one day, you know, people will put this stuff up online, but like stuff in that DVD mixtape era, if people don't upload it and let it exist, then it's kind of
exactly. And it's not like there's a like the US market where there's a bunch of outlets covering these artists. Like there's really a handful of outlets covering you guys, you know, and I'm glad that I was there to witness it.
Yeah, if you witnessed it, it was something special, right? Because you don't get Drake without that mixtape
Yes.
era. You don't get Tory Lanez without that mixtape era, right? That
Crazy.
energy, that what the city was, what the hustle was, right? Like for us, it was all like, who's gonna be on first, right?
Yeah.
Like we were all just trying to be the guy that was on first, and that's
Yes.
what fueled like everyone. Like,
But
and
what was the
seeing-
definition of being first at that time? Like because you
then
had
just getting played in America?
Yeah.
Was the definition of being
American
first, right?
acceptance.
Like,
I mean, we had Socrates who was getting played in America at the time.
yeah, but like it wasn't getting
Yeah.
played. You know what I mean? Like it was like they played you in some places. You know what I mean? And
I know
like,
you're talking about, like, BET.
Cardi was the first to get like played.
Cardi
On
was the
BT,
You know what I
first.
mean?
yeah,
Like in
yeah.
America, where it was like, yo, like this.
remember
is
watching those,
going,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And like even for that, it was like, okay, like he wasn't just straight rapping. You know what I mean? Rapping.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was like it felt a little like pop-ish. So we were still, for us guys in the underground, we were still like, fuck, we're still trying to be the first ones on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it was good to see Cardi do it because it was like, okay, it was possible. You know,
Absolutely.
like when I used to take meetings, they'd be like, oh, where are you from? Like I remember going to Def Jam and like certain places and they'd be like, where are you from? I'd be like, Toronto. They'd be like, Toronto, like, they rap? yeah, we rap.
true,
You know
it's
what I mean?
terrible.
And they'd be like,
Yeah.
okay, so like, who do you guys got? Like, I've heard of
Yeah.
Cardinal Official. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you used to deal with it.
I
You know
hate
what I mean?
that
So
shit.
now it's like you guys, they have the opportunity to go there and it's like, yo, there's a reference point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they know about Caravana. They know about OVO Fest when it was happening. They know about the city. They'll tell you about certain
Yeah.
streets. You know what I mean? So,
Do you you're African, right?
yeah, from Ghana.
Did you feel like any like how can I say like any like animosity from people like you being from Africa like in the rap game? But yo, look at this African kid trying to rap. You ever heard that?
Nah, because I don't like. I'm born in Canada, right?
I hear
Like
ya.
my parents are born in Ghana. My whole family's born in Ghana. So like
What
for
tribe?
me,
By the way, what tribe? By the way,
I don't get into.
You don't get into
my
that
family's
stuff?
tribes and stuff like that. Like you know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. I don't identify as
hear
like.
ya.
I didn't come in this thing like super the African guy in my raps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think if that was the MO, if I was in a dashiki and my videos and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that
It
would
was
be the
never
energy.
like
I don't
that.
think
Yeah,
anyone
yeah,
really
yeah.
like
Yeah.
viewed me that
You were
way.
just a dope dude from Saga that.
Yeah, it was like everyone in the Ghanaian community knew me because I would be at all the African events. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, if there's a pageant or whatever, all the stuff that we do, the picnics at Roundtree and
Yeah.
stuff, like I'm at all the stuff. You know what I mean? So you know, but like it wasn't like it's not like a
The reason why I asked is like artists like Wale, they would talk about their animosity that they felt coming up in the rap game. People would just like be like, oh, look at this African kid.
That's
trying to
just
rap.
being in Canada. It wasn't so much about in rap. You know what I mean? Like people, they cracked their jokes when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Because I was dark. You know what I mean? Like I don't think they even knew where Africa was, let alone you know what I mean to be able to. You know, so I don't know. That's just growing up around people that don't look like you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was gonna go through shit like that, right? But yeah, it wasn't really a big thing for me. I would say that like with regards to African music, I'm probably the first person that had like Afrobeats records. You know what I mean? I got records with a lot of like African artists, and I finished like an album in 2012 that I never released. That was like
Yeah.
all Afrobeats. Anytime that like guys would come to the city, like Wizkid, all these African artists come to the
yeah.
city. I go and connect with them, you know what I mean? So big shout out to my homie, like Ghana Mixtapes, my homie Jules. Jules used to put me up on everyone, like Samini, EL, Sarkodia, you know what I mean? I got songs with all these guys, you know what I mean? So I got an African album in the
You
cut.
must be so proud to see what it's become, man. It's like a monster.
Yeah, because we were again, when I was at these parties as a kid, like this is what we were listening to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for us, it was like it was inevitable. Like we knew that this was gonna happen. You know, it was just a matter of the right one and it not feeling too African for certain people. And there's a couple English words that I understand. You know what I mean? That's all it took. It's just people feeling comfortable. That's all. Yeah.
It's funny because I have white people putting me on some Afrobeat songs. I'm like, you know this shit? Like, what do you do? Like,
Yeah, it's no different than reggae, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know, there once upon a time it was like. People weren't into that. Now you go to Oshawa and a white girl can tell you about vibes. You know what I mean?
and she's
More than
singing-
I could.
She's singing it to like fucking
doing the
Buju
dirty wine
Banton.
right in
Yeah,
front of
you
your
know what I'm
face,
saying?
like,
So
yeah.
that's the beauty of music and also kind of the weird part of it. Right?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the Canadian rap scene currently? You know, being an OG, being in the game for so long, seeing what it was at when you were coming up to what it's at now. Like, what are your overall thoughts, opinions, maybe constructive criticism?
I love the opportunities that these guys have now. I love how self-sufficient they are. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to recording and getting videos out and content and like all this stuff, like them really understanding what it's about now. You know what I mean? I love that a kid from Toronto, like I just got put up on what are these kids? Team East or something like that. Sav, what's the kids called? Sav or something like that. Those see these kids. I don't know. There's these kids, Sav 4X or something. There's some kids from Scarborough. I just got put up on these Scarborough kids where I seen their videos like on some kind of jiggy, like a disco shit, but they're talking like some drill shit, you know. And I always like I critique the drill guys because I'm like, they're not being creative, right? Like my issue with Toronto music for a point in time was that like I don't care, like not that I don't care, right? But I just my ear doesn't care if you're talking about killing so and so and whatever, right? But there's a level of artistry and a level of poetry that has sustained rap, right? Like there's a reason why the art form has survived 50 years, because while some people may listen to Kendrick do a Super Bowl show and be like, that's crap and I couldn't understand, there's so much in there. You know what I mean? Like there's so many gems that rappers have given over the years, right? So for me, with the new generation, it's just I and me having the studio is one of the things that I try to preach to them, like not freestyling your records. You know what I mean? Like I think as soon as guys started freestyling their songs, we got away from the writing of it, and that's where the drop off has kind of happened in the music.
Do you believe it gets a little difficult because it's like people want new music all the time and they feel the pressure of like they got to put out something now? Was it like back in the day where you could take a couple of weeks to create this, you know,
kind of like write it out a little bit?
Yeah, you know what I mean? They want something now, and then if you're forced to be creative, that's obviously going to take more time, and kind of is like, man, you know, why spend time being creative, creating this creative song when this song over here about this girl rapping about pegging men, or this guy talking about sliding or sliding on an app, you know, they're putting out like 5 of those songs in a week and it's getting all this attention and stuff like that. So maybe they feel like, maybe, you know what, maybe I should just conform to that. It's easier. You can put up more music, takes less brain power, and it gets attention.
No, I get that. You know what I mean? Like, and there's, for every Eminem, you're gonna have a Chingy, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and the Chingies are celebrating now.
And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like, you need that for rap, right? Like, we need the polar opposites. It's necessary.
Maybe
all
too
I'm
many
saying,
Chingies?
sometimes I think we hit a point where it was a little bit too much of that, and like it got a little too like, what flavors your hair? You know what I mean? Like, it got a little weird in that way. You know what I mean? And I think we're starting to get back to bars and like people caring about the content a little bit more.
Yes.
These days, I feel like that's the trend that's happening right now. So, you know, that's where things like Yellow Goose win. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna bar out all day and kind of do stuff like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, with regards to this new generation, I would just love to see them push their pen a little bit more. You know what I mean? I think that's the drop off.
I agree. I've always been, you know, an advocate for pushing your pen, even if it's about street shit. If you're pushing your pen, like, you can push your pen in that sense. Like,
I listen to.
I gave you Powers a song about.
Dog, we grew up listening to street guys.
Yes.
Right. Like so for me, it's like there's no, like, the idea of like we didn't listen to street guys, or like these guys are too street for us, or, you know, like, that's not it at all, right? Like, it's just a matter of the content and like just being a little bit more thoughtful in what they're putting out there.
Absolutely.
Speaking of which, what was your first hip hop song did you listen to when you were a kid?
The first hip hop song I listened to,
rap song, whatever song. What put you on?
Cream is probably gonna be the first song that like I learned. Like, I actually wrote the lyrics out to the shit, you know what I mean? And like was like, that's how I learned the song. Yeah, that's probably Cream or something Mobb Deep. Like, my brother was a huge Mobb Deep fan, so like something Mobb Deep's probably like my
greatest
earliest,
rap duo ever.
Yeah, probably my earliest. And like, so crazy story, I got to do Mobb Deep's last Toronto show with Prodigy, when Prodigy was still alive. So doing that last one, we did that, you know, Roadman, we did that with Lord Fury, big ups Lord Fury, you know what I mean, Supreme Jeans. We did that show together. It was Mobb Deep, Smith & Wesson, Cormega came out as a special guest. So that one was a crazy one, but we got to do that one with them. Rappanoid ended up coming out, you know what I mean? So getting to kick it with like I have a song with like, that's one of the things. I think that's one of the things that probably bothers me is like, I got records with like some crazy, like, from a rap standpoint in Canada. Yeah. There's a fucking handful of people that can like hold the torch to like some of the rap records I have. And like, don't get me wrong, like, I know guys have records with like the big features and stuff like that, but I'm talking like if you care about like this rap shit,
Yes.
you know what I mean? I got some crazy fucking features. Like what other Canadian nigga got a record with Raekwon, Ghostface, Tony Touch, RZA?
That's crazy.
Nobody.
You know what I'm saying? I got a Styles P and fucking
Crazy.
You know, I my Onyx joints. I got Sticky on 2 joints, doing ad libs on my records and shit. You know what I mean? Like that's the stuff that for me, and it's not like a lack of credit, but I'm just like sometimes I'm like, yo, are you niggas like people? Like, are you catching some of this shit? Like, or is it I got to be standing beside niggas for niggas to that stuff?
No, what you need is a Drake record. That's what people are gonna tell you.
I got Drake records. You know, we did that. You know what I mean? So you know, and don't get me wrong.
I'm not saying like you need it, but like that's what they would say.
Man, I think I'd love to see him do a record with like Tory. You know what I mean? I'd love to see Drake and Tory, or like Drake and Pressa. You know what I mean? I think that'd be ill. I think people talk about
you got tracks with Belly too, right?
Me, I don't. Belly's one of the few guys I haven't had a chance to spar with. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Ooh, that be
me. Like, Belly's on my list of people to spar with. Belly, Tory are probably like who haven't I sparred with? Belly, Tory, maybe Chaos.
That guy's elusive as hell.
I don't know if I count him. I don't know if I count.
Is he
for art?
For art, there you go.
But you know what? It was so crazy.
Yeah,
MC Murder is one of my favorite like Canadian rap records. You know what I mean? Like, and he just Chaos is he's a different guy, right? Like I've never actually like had the opportunity to like sit with him like on a 1-to-1, but I've over the years been like 1 degree away in several occasions and just been like, huh. You know, so
that's how you do your shit.
You know what I mean? So, you know, but it's love. You know what I mean? He just does weird stuff sometimes. Like when he was in a bra with the macaroni
you remember that
on the walk. Like he just does weird stuff sometimes.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Like handful of guys I haven't had a chance to spar with. Like I work with Class. I rapped on Classified Beat, but we haven't rapped together yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, outside of that, I think I sparred with everyone in this country, man.
Back to the Drake thing.
Back to the Drake thing.
Well, I mean, I'm going into your career.
Okay, yeah,
you know?
and before you do this, you know what I mean? It's my, like, you guys don't do this when you see Drake, right? Like, and it's one of my issues with when people see me and they want to talk about people and ask me questions about people is when you guys see these people, you guys don't keep that same fucking energy.
Oh, we do. We try to. You got to see all our episodes.
I'd like to argue differently. You know what I'm saying? While
so one mistake you're making is you're putting us in a group with other people.
I'm putting you all in the same,
and that's fair. And that's fair. But I could absolutely guarantee that. We would keep the same energy, and that's why Drake would never do an interview with us because.
Well, I hope one day he does. Right?
Because
think bigger picture here. I think
he won't.
I want that for you.
He won't. And I actually don't really care for it, to be honest.
We just gotta be white streamers. That's all.
The reason I want it for you guys is that the reason I'm here is that I feel like what you guys are doing is important for the culture, and I think he's a very important part of the culture. So
let me clarify, the reason I would ask Drake, and I'll go back to Juice DVD, and I stand on this 10 toes on my daughter's name. I was there. I was actually there. And the first time I met Drake was at your show, I believe it was in Brampton. It's on it was in Brampton, and he was performing City Is Mine.
My place was called, huh?
Absolutely.
They had like food. They have wings and stuff. I think they gave us some wings and shit. That
day. I love that shit. At the time, Drake wasn't Drake. Drake was Wheelchair Jimmy. He was the Nickelodeon kid who acted. He was Nick Cannon-esque. He was kind of like, he
had music out at the time.
He had music, but people were like, yo.
They knew him. They knew him from the show.
Yeah, they're like, yo.
But yeah, he was nice. That's what I'm saying.
Nobody took him seriously.
He was out the gate. That's what I'm saying. Nick Cannon. Yeah, you can't Nick Cannon him. Because he was nicer than Nick Cannon.
No. But that was a category. It wasn't like
right. It was like people knew him.
He was a child actor.
People knew him more for the acting.
Exactly. And you were the first, one of the first. Maybe we were the first to actually co-sign him and say, "Yo, I'm gonna have this guy at my show. However you guys react to it is how you guys react to it." And that's how I met him. And I want to ask you, like, what made you like take a chance? Because at the time, I remember at the time, he wasn't the guy who he is now. He was still, Wheelchair Jimmy.
20 years ago, by the way.
Who was trying to rap.
Yeah, this is a long time ago.
Yeah, it was like 05, 06.
It wasn't so much taking a chance, right? Like, it was just more like, you're nice and like, you know what I mean? Like, for us, like you got to understand, Toronto at the time coming up, there's a handful of guys that are rapping at that level, right? Like, so for me, it's like my pen recognizes your pen, you know what I mean, type of thing. Out the gate, I could tell like he was a really smart guy. The way he wrote, it was like, you know, from a really intelligent perspective, you know what I mean, and like, and we just kind of clicked. Like we were on the same shit, you know what I mean. We're all around the same age, you know what I mean. So that's all it was. Really.
And you guys have that track, really dope track was Black Magic.
Black Magic, yeah. That's actually a lot of people don't know it's a Soul and Members beat.
Yeah.
It's
Dope
Soul
beat.
and Members beat. I actually went to go see them. I went to go see them live other night at Lee's Palace. I got
Both
to
of them?
meet, yeah, Prevail. I got to meet Prevail for the first time. You know what I mean?
Dope.
He is so elusive too.
Yeah,
He
super.
is so
But he's
elusive.
mad cool. He's mad.
probably
cool.
doing real estate
I got
now
to
or
meet him,
something.
Mocha only. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I got to
Mocha
go see
only
them
too?
live.
Shit.
It was dope, kind of being in the crowd watching them do Black
Yeah,
Magic.
yeah. Oh,
So,
fuck.
but yeah, that record was I think I was at Laurier. I was going to school up at Laurier when we did that record.
Yeah.
I sent it to him. He probably sent it back. And that record is the first record. And I want people, you could probably date it, you know what I mean? It's probably the first record he says Drizzy. He calls himself Drizzy.
Yeah,
All
really.
that shit, yeah. Because I remember getting the shit, getting the verse back, and him being like, Drizzy, baby. When I heard this shit, I was like,
What?
I asked him about this shit. He's like,
Is this-
Wayne calls me that. You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean?
So this is
Okay.
after they get the cosign,
This
right?
is like right around there, because at the time he's not really doing records for people, you know what I'm saying? And because he's my dog, he does the record for me, and then starts to really kind of go after
Yeah.
that.
That's dope. That's a piece of Toronto history I just wanted to put out there because a lot of people don't know that. And to answer your original question or your statement, like we would have given the same energy. I definitely
I'm just saying,
would.
yeah, that's
just
my,
for
when people
Toronto
get into their, like,
purposes.
because
Yes.
everywhere I go, everyone like, obviously I'm from Toronto, you know what I'm saying? So you're gonna give me your Drake questions, and then you know I have songs with him from back then. I understand it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just sometimes it's like
I get
people
it.
don't. They don't
You
get
want
that
people to
same
stay. Yeah, absolutely,
that energy.
absolutely.
But don't you hate like when people call you the legacy act? Like, are like? I
Yeah,
feel
I'm not
like
into like legacy. I'm not
Yeah.
into legend. I'm
Yeah.
not into like.
Yeah.
Because
you're still here and you're still
they're
doing
code
your
words
thing.
for old, right? Like I just like, and I say it all the time, and from like the legend standpoint, like I don't consider myself a legend, right? Like
Most legends don't.
It's cool, and it's cool that people like hit me with that sometimes when I go places and say that shit. But like I personally don't consider myself a fucking legend. I think to be a legend, you got to do a lot of fucking legendary shit, and I've done some dope stuff.
No, you've done
I've done some
legendary
dope
shit.
stuff.
But let's be honest,
I've done some dope stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Look at him
All right,
being so
You know what I'm
honest.
saying?
all right.
Like, and don't get me wrong, the dope stuff I've done is better than majority of the people in my field, right?
yeah.
But I still don't consider myself a legend. So I think people use that term just a little bit loose.
You think I use it loosely when I refer
That's
to
your
it?
business, man. It's your how you use the term is how you use the term.
freaking mean that.
You're just asking me my opinion.
Yeah.
My opinion. People
Like
use it very
you,
loosely.
rich kid. Like I mean, and like I said, man, to like from 05 to 06 to now to see you guys still doing it, still hungry, still killing it, and with all the accomplishments, considering we're in a market that isn't really a thriving market, you know what I mean? To see what you guys have done, like, dude, you're in South Africa, South America, you're collaborating with freaking federal
You're
stars.
gonna call them legends? Were you gonna call them legends?
They are legends. Mobb Deep. Like,
Legends, yeah.
why are we pretending?
And going on tour as well,
Yeah, the
making a
touring-
living off
Wu
this.
Tag, living off of this shit. Considering like we're in the like. To be a Canadian rapper isn't the most glamorous thing, you know what I mean? And you're doing it. And how many people can say that they're actually living off of this shit? You know what I mean? And from being from Saga City, me being from Saga, like, yeah.
Yeah.
To me, absolutely you are. Absolutely, hands down, without a
Appreciate
doubt.
you, man. I appreciate
and you guys could, like, you know, debate yourselves on this shit. I don't care.
Yeah, let them.
You know what I
work through it
mean?
in the comments or
So
whatever.
that's what it is. What was the time like, your time like with H2O? Was it H2O?
Yeah, Ice H2O was the label.
Yeah.
Dope. You know what I mean? Like I got to see a lot of really. I got to see the ins and outs of like the industry. You know what I mean? Kind of being over there. It's dope to see it from like a guy like Chef's perspective, because like everywhere he goes, like people kind of like roll out the red carpet for him. You know what I mean? So I've got to see it from different people's perspective. You know what I mean? And for him, it was ill because. Like I like to say, like I went to school in Shaolin. You know what I mean? Like my rap school, like my rap school is crazy. You know what I mean? Like I being at the studio and like Rizzo pop up and like, you know what I mean?
That
Or
is
like
crazy.
Method Man came to just come kick it for a minute, or you know what I mean? Like, you know, so being with Chef was dope, you know, like getting to see the ins and outs of it. And then on the Canada side, his people, he had his people, Trini was in charge of like everything on the Canada side and really kind of getting things in motion. It was cool to see how the city embraced the idea of something new, you know what I mean? And embraced kind of the Americans kind of coming over here and doing something. And like, like I just learned a lot. Like I learned so much from just being around there. So many things that like I do now to this day, like that even down to like the show booking aspect of things, you know what I mean? Like I don't get into this side of booking things and like booking my own shows and doing stuff like that unless I'm around Raekwon, right? Like so going to Raekwon school or Shaolin school was like priceless for me.
Yeah,
you know what
absolutely.
I mean? Like I think there's a lot of stuff that I wish we got to accomplish. Didn't get a chance to put out like a full length with Ice H2O, you know what I'm saying? No Handouts that came out, and that No Handouts is actually like a black market release, right? Like so it's black market. I think it was black market E1 I was signed with at the time. We did a distribution deal with E1. So and then it's independent after that, right? So you know, we had Mac Miller and all these people and stuff like that. Like that's a independent release, you know what I mean? And that was a mixtape. Like even that, we dropped No Handles. It was a mixtape and then got nominated for a Juno, right? Like it wasn't like a full album that was, yo, this is my album. So we were working towards the album. So unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to like kind of put that out. I think that would have been dope because
You emphasize Juno a lot, though. Is that something that's really important nowadays?
I think I said it twice. I emphasized it.
Twice.
No, but like I think
it's on my
It's on your
radar.
okay.
It's on my radar,
trying
right?
to
Like it's
create
just
a
one of
viral
those
moment.
things. Yeah, just one of those things I just want to check off on a personal list. You know what I mean? And like I don't care how it comes, preferably in rap. You know what I mean? But I do other things and work in like other spaces. You know where I can still get that award. You know, doing other things. You know, so yeah, like look, the Junos is cool for me. It was dope to see it from the perspective of like everyone kissing your ass, right? Like when I got to go, it was off of No Handouts, Raekwon cosign, E1. I'm in the limo with the E1 president.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was Juno. It was JDR. Like they were like, would you like to do the broadcast? So I was the first person for the presenters. It's me and fucking Leonard Cohen's son. You know what I'm saying? And Dean Brody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dean Brody is the country god right now. You know what I mean? Like. And I'm with Bublé backstage and the tenors and shit. You know what I mean? Like, so I got to do the Junos like from the ass kissing level. You know what I mean? So getting to do it from that, I prefer now to go in on the independent on our own, from our own sweat equity. You know what I mean? So, that's I just bring it up because in Canada it's the highest accolade, right? Like so for me, I still haven't gotten that stamp, and I want that stamp.
You will get it. Who's on your Rushmore in Canada?
Rushmore rap.
Yes, sir.
Era.
That's hilarious. That's gonna be a
Outside
nice
of myself, Rushmore's what, 4 people?
Yes, sir.
And it's got to be Canadian, right?
This guy could be Canadian.
Shit.
I go. Okay, so Drake. I go Drake, Tory,
Woo.
Belly.
Ooh.
Belly's
All right.
done more than
His
enough.
pen is great,
man.
too,
He's
yeah.
done more than enough.
His pen's
Like,
great.
And he's a guy that in Canada. Okay, so like for me, like. Okay, no disrespect to the guys listening to this. I don't want to celebrate Northern Touch anymore, right? Like I'm all hot take, right? Love you guys, love everybody involved in Northern Touch, but I'm over
I didn't even think
celebrating.
it was that great of a song, to be
No,
honest.
I'm not gonna say that.
Whoa,
I'm not gonna say that.
retrospect.
They got the Get At Me Dog sample first. You know what I'm saying?
Checkmate's verse was dope on there, and
I love the whole record. I love everybody's verse on it. Just think we've celebrated it too many times. Okay,
I agree with that too.
Got that out of the system. You know, Still Too Much. We could do Still Too Much this year if they want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
This
the remix
is
That was
the
fire.
audio original.
That was fire. That was fire.
There's other things. There's other things.
Yeah,
Give
yeah.
Dream Warriors some more love. You know what I'm saying? Give someone some love.
True.
Yeah, yeah,
That being said,
Even Citizen Kane. Shout out Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane. Oh, big up. And I seen Citizen Kane starting to pop up. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
And Spade, at least. I don't
Shout out
really
to
know,
Spade.
you know what I mean? But Spade's starting to pop up and do stuff. Spade, and he's someone that I grew up listening to. Still, I've never met him in person, but nothing but love for that guy. Like, just, I watch his interviews and stuff. Really intellectual guy. You know what I mean? I know me and him when we get in the room, we're gonna get a chance to like really chop it up. You know?
All right, so we're fourth.
Okay, sorry.
Fourth.
I was gonna skate. I was on a chance to skate. Fourth.
So we got Drake, Tory, and
Belly.
Belly.
I gotta go.
I know who he's gonna say.
I gotta go Cardi.
I knew it.
I gotta go Cardi,
right.
man.
That's
I
a solid four.
gotta
That's
go Cardi.
respectful.
I gotta go Cardi, but my number 4 is kind of interchangeable because it could be Cardi, it could be Stro, for different reasons. You know what I'm saying? And like depending on the week, it could be Choclair.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
his old shit. Yeah.
Depending on the week, you know, because Choclair,
He has pen. Yeah.
just as a kid, for me as a kid, and like, you know, just listening to certain guys, like those were there was like guys, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I'd say in terms of like who's taking this thing the furthest, you know what I mean? And I'm sorry, class. Class, you're an honorable mention on my, in my Rushmore.
shit.
Class, you're an honorable mention because I don't feel like Class gets enough love. I'm not gonna lie.
No, he does.
You know what I'm saying?
He doesn't.
Classified
He
to me,
doesn't.
yo, listen.
He doesn't.
Classified is a top to bottom solid rapper, and maybe it's because of his content. You know what I'm saying? That he doesn't. But in Canada, he gets the love that is. You know what I mean? And some rappers watch it and they're like, you know what I mean? Like, why are they showing Classified love? It's because the country looks like him. Get over it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. You know what I mean? But like, but from a pen standpoint, and he produces all this stuff, and like,
great.
I don't think he gets enough love.
No.
Absolutely.
So I want to give an honorable mention to my guy,
Absolutely.
Class,
And his
you know?
business is on point.
Yeah.
Business on point.
Touring every year, 30 cities plus.
Listen, that guy does it with his eyes closed. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And like that's like I said, there's certain guys that I learned from. You know what I mean? And like, even Match House probably gonna roast me too. I'm sorry, Matt. Honorable mention. You know what I mean? Another honorable mention because he's a
We
guy
need
that,
him. Match out, pull up on us
yeah,
too.
there's a
Man.
handful of guys that I know I can send a verse to, or I can send a song to, and the verse they're gonna send back, I don't gotta worry about it. You know what I mean? Match House is one of those guys. I know it doesn't matter what the fuck I send him, I'm gonna get back my ghouls and goblins, and he's gonna fucking body it. You know what I mean?
Got it.
So, yeah.
Mobb Deep or Wu-Tang?
Ooh.
Woo.
Jay or Nas?
For starters, you don't get to just like throw things at people. Like there's no like, you know what I mean? Like there's no.
I want to catch you
That
up,
was
Balance.
Like, yo, and by
You've
the way,
been
you know,
Politically
You've been
correct.
too on point in this interview. I gotta catch you off balance.
Jay.
Jay,
All right.
Cardi or Nicki?
Nicki,
Oxtail or Curry Goat?
Oxtail,
Breast or ass?
ass.
MJ or LeBron?
I think I'm saying all these things like everyone should have my answers. You're not thinking what I'm thinking. MJ.
No, it'd actually be more respectful if it was more like LeBron or Kobe.
Isn't the debate
When I was
usually
younger,
LeBron and
when I
MJ?
was younger,
There's no debate.
when I was younger, I would have said LeBron, because I hated Kobe.
Oh, okay.
As an elder statesman, I say Kobe.
Okay.
Kobe was a killer.
He was a killer.
DJ Premier or RZA?
Production? Or
Yeah, production. Yeah.
Primo, I'd say.
Primo?
That's a tough one.
That is a tough
RZA
one.
got a lot of classics. RZA probably, because RZA got way more classics than Primo, I think.
Oh, shit, this guy's about to start a...
I think. I think Primo has some joints that I love.
I think Primo has. Better.
I think Primo probably
And it's
has.
spread amongst more artists.
He probably has my more favorite
Yeah.
beat, but RZA probably has more.
That's something to dive into.
That's a good battle.
Shit.
What's your message to the new crop of artists coming
Can I
in?
ask you guys a question?
Yes, sir.
Why did you guys let
Here we go.
you guys? I saw it was just a clip. It was a clip. Why did you guys let Lou Breeze come here with a cowboy hat on? Did he have a cowboy hat on?
He pulled up on me one day. Yeah, it was like, he came. Yeah.
Did you guys say anything?
I wasn't
Yo,
there.
Lou Breeze is.
I wasn't there.
I let him do his thing. Yeah, he had a snake. Yeah, a snake around his neck. It was hilarious. Fucking do your thing.
I was confused too. I saw the clip. I'm like, God damn, what happened? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he went to the Calgary
Crazy.
Stampede
My
or
generation's
something.
crazy. My generation's crazy.
Yeah,
Okay, back
he's
to
hilarious.
You asked him a question, right?
Yeah. What is your message to the new crop?
The new crop of rappers.
Yeah.
Stop drilling.
Yeah, man, stop killing each other. More money, like bad for business.
Make some money.
Bad
Tell
for
me, bad
business.
Yo, so look, I go out of my way to try and book you guys, right? Like, so if you're one of the drillers, I go out of my way to try and book you guys. And you know what my uphill battle is? Everywhere I go, the venue. The venue comes to me and they go, no. That guy cannot. You know what? But we just
There's no
booked the
research
show.
on the dude, right?
Just booked the show. I got Currency coming May 11th. Come pull up. Phoenix. May 12th, we're in Montreal at La Belmont. I suggested some names for openers. No. The answer is no. I was at another venue. We had a show, Onyx, recently. They told me, hey, listen, love the shows that you're doing. We love hip hop. We want to do more hip hop. But if it's gonna be any of the young guys with
the young guys, they said
that's what they say. If it's gonna be
the young guys, it's terrible.
They're not wrong, though.
The answer is no.
It's terrible.
They're not
Right?
wrong.
Like, so for me, help you guys, man. Like I'm trying to put money in your pockets, and you guys are in a crazy position right now. Right now, what's happening in the world? You guys probably don't care about this stuff, right? But Trump's going wild, talking about 25% tariffs and this and that. So you know what we need to book as a booking person?
Ourselves.
Canadian acts.
Yep.
I want to use Canadian dollars. I don't want to spend American money. And it's not because, don't clap, it's not because I care about you little fuckity fucks, right? It's not because of that.
Taxes are higher.
It's because my dollar.
Yeah.
But the Canadian dollar is trash right now. So if I bring an American artist,
$1.44.
it's trash.
Yeah.
So I want to book you guys. Right now is the time. This is it. But you guys want to shoot each other instead of making money.
Yeah.
Let's make money. Imagine if I could take all you ops, you little oppy ops,
Yeah.
on a tour together.
Happy hours.
Imagine we could go to Calgary and Edmonton, and I could take
Cranbrook.
Imagine, and yo, big ups Cranbrook, and I always mention Cranbrook because you guys show me so much fucking love. I just remember you guys all the time. You know what I'm saying? But you little fuckity fucks, stop killing each other.
Is it Cranbrook a private school?
No, it's a city in BC
Bad
in
joke.
the middle
It's a
of nowhere.
bad joke. Okay.
B Rabbit over here, just fucking getting his bars off. That's crazy.
It's a city in BC.
Yeah. Because I was just thinking too, like, Moolah first, man. Like, I would love to see him do more shows and stuff like that. But like, just to see all the, I understand why venues say no because there's real life potential consequences.
I do and I don't.
Because
I do and I don't. Because look, you're absolutely right. There's consequences and
Potentially.
there's potential for things, but there's also a way that someone doing a show, a promoter doing a show, can get you the fuck in and get you the fuck out, right? Like, and for me, I'm confident in my ability to get someone in, let them do their set, and get them the fuck out.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if it needs to be Secret Service level of motion, we can do that, and we can still have a safe show. You know
I guess
what
you just don't want to risk
Yo,
the
hit him up.
liability.
Hit him up.
Yeah,
it burns me. It burns me. Dog, there's nothing I would love more. And like even the galdom, like for the female rappers, we did an all-female showcase. We brought Chinese Kitty out, had a bunch of female rappers on the shit last year. We're going to do another, or was it last year or the year before? Year before. We're gonna be doing another all-female showcase. You know what I mean? All-female MCs. I try to put on for like the female rappers and stuff because I got nothing but love for them. You know what I mean? But for me, they have a lack of outlets. You know what I mean? And a lack of spaces where they can kind of get out and do their thing. But that being said, ladies, when I book you, promote the fucking show, right? Like I had this issue the last time. All of the girls were on one thing, and they didn't want to promote it because another girl's name was on the flyer. This is the stuff. These are the dumb things that you get into, right? Like where it's like you're stopping yourselves. Why are we stopping ourselves from doing something good? This is a greater good, right? Toronto, come together, greater good. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, man, just the up and coming guys. Merch. That's the other thing I would say. Merch. Start thinking about merch. Start printing t-shirts, hats, shit like that. You don't even have to print them. Make them available on a website. If someone buys it, order it. You know what I'm saying? And then sell it that way. But let's start incorporating merch into your stuff. And let's backtracks. Performing over backtracks sucks. Super whack. Less auto-tune. And the reason I say less auto-tune is because at some point in time, you're going to have to perform, right? So if when you're in the booth, you go, and that's what it sounds like. When you're on stage, that's what it's going to sound like. So I tell guys to rap because you can rap on stage and we're going to be good. But the auto-tune guys, I watch you guys and...
So, it don't sound the same. Yeah.
I'll talk all day. If you ask me about this, that's when I turn into an old man.
We're gonna have you back.
We're gonna have you back.
But yeah, man, love. I appreciate you guys having me through. You know, Yellow Goose officially out now. Produced by Fredro Starr. You know what I'm saying? Super legend of Onyx.
Let's
you
go.
probably know him from fucking Moesha and Clockers and fucking all these movies.
Yeah,
you know
all
what
the
I mean?
movies.
Like Save the Last Dance. I think that's that's the one he gets the most probably. I'll be in airports with him, and then white girls will be like,
Save the Last Dance.
We were in Germany. A white girl lost her shit when she saw him fucking Save the Last Dance. I was like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like,
hilarious.
for me, like they're the homies, so it's I don't even clue in.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
actors and shit. Like
Yeah.
Sticky Fingers was Blade.
Yeah,
He was Blade too.
Yeah,
Yo,
yeah.
Someone came with a Blade
For two-
fucking
yeah.
a poster or some shit like that, and had him to sign. I was like, oh shit, you were Blade too. I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
he
two
was
seasons
Blade.
he played Blade. It was
Yeah.
hilarious.
They're the homies. You know what I mean? That I try to take money from gambling. Shout out Sticky Fingers.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy, son. Holy fuck.
Right, man.
Yo, this is episode 568 on Black Mob.
I'm Glory.
Why are you Black Mob? You're one person.
I told you this already in the text.
Yo, big ups. I know.
He's not one person.
Yo, we got JD Era and we out.
Music is, there's a couple of emotions.
Yeah.
Food creates emotion because when you're hungry, you want the food that you want. Friends create an emotion because when you go and you hang out with your friends, then you go and have a good time with your friends. And especially if they're your old friends, so they have history on you for time. But music, why do you think all these older people sit there and still listen to 70s classic rock? Because they remember where they were on that moment when that song was playing. And they remember, because I remember the first time I ever heard Who Shot Ya from Biggie Smalls. Cheers.
On that track.
Yo, is like audio fucking good on that? We'll fucking wing it. We're gonna wing it.